Hey everyone, it's Neil here from Post to Post. Thanks for joining me today. Definitely a bit of an odd video on the channel. Usually I'm talking hockey or I'm unboxing something where we're looking at jersey concepts. Basically everything to do with hockey. Sometimes I sprinkle in a GeoGuessr or something like that. Haven't lately because of the playoffs, but now that we're into the summer, I'll definitely be doing more of that. Be doing more photography as well, some Photography 101 videos. But the title and the thumbnail may have shocked you a little bit. Now, I did release some information on the podcast a couple of weeks ago, but yeah, I quit my job. And if you guys didn't know, I don't do this full time. I don't do YouTube full time. I think there's like a bit of misconception that every YouTuber makes like a bunch of money. Not true. I could not do this full time. That's just what it comes down to. Not even close to full time. Like I would have to make 4 times as much in order to do YouTube full time. It's just not possible, right? So I have to have a regular day job. I have never not had a regular day job while I've done YouTube. I've always had a regular day job because I've needed to have a regular day job because money. I got to pay the bills. I got to pay rent. Yeah, I know. I understand. Like I buy a lot of jerseys. I also sell some jerseys, and it's also a collection, right? I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't gamble. I don't spend my money on anything other than jerseys. Really, that sounds ridiculous, but any of my disposable income is gone towards the channel, either to buy jerseys just for my fun collection, or maybe I'm trying to funnel some money into the channel to buy some lights. Maybe if the channel doesn't make as much money or something like that I wanted to, I'll take some of my money and throw it into the channel's fund to buy a new mixer or a microphone or whatever to try and improve the quality of the channel, whether that's lighting, video, audio, whatever, something for the background, whatever. So I need money. I need a regular day job, and I had a regular day job. It is hot in this room, and it's been a long day. It's my 6th video of the day that I've filmed. I had a regular day job, and it was pretty decent. I was at it for roughly a year and a half, or maybe just over. I don't know what the actual math is on that, but I moved from Prince Edward Island to Fredericton for the position. So I didn't live in Fredericton and apply for the position and just get it. I literally uprooted my life from province to province. And here I am still in Fredericton. Now, let's just take you through the timeline. Like, what went wrong with that job that made me want to quit, or did nothing go wrong and I just found a better job? It's actually a little bit of both. So I have to start this out by, I'm not going to tell you who I worked for. I'll tell you what I did, which I've already said on the channel. So I worked as a graphic designer, a videographer, a photographer, a marketing manager. Basically, I kind of ran the marketing department for a small company. That company sold things online on a US and Canadian website. They had distribution centers in Maine and Washington. And my role was to support the business in any marketing capacity at all. And that means print media, digital media, social media, in-store signage, basically anything that comes to do with a brand of a company. I was kind of in charge of that. And I started that position in October of 2019. And like I said, I'm not going to tell you what company it's for. I'm not even going to tell you what industry it's for, but it's a business that's located outside of Fredericton Center. It's, I don't know, 15 minutes outside of Fredericton, basically. And it was a really good job for 95% of the time. But as time moved on, more frustrations became apparent. There was drama that I was not involved with, but I was like, it's a small business, so I'm like secondhand hearing it and experiencing it. And it's just exhausting, to be completely honest. And thankfully I wasn't really involved in it, but just having to deal with it and listen to it all the time, and it was very frustrating. But I would say my biggest first frustration was, I think, about a month into the job, actually. And during my interview, I was told that I would have an hour lunch, an hour to use for lunch, and I could spend the entire hour and do whatever I want, or I could take 30 minutes and then do 15 minutes before, 15 minutes after, or whatever. It was really my responsibility to manage my time myself. So I did that. I would always take an hour lunch because that's kind of, that's what I was used to. I always had an hour lunch in the previous jobs. That's what I asked for during the interview, or basically agreed to, because that's what I was told and that's what I wanted. And then about a month in, I was told, you know what, Neil, you can't actually take an hour lunch anymore because the other employees that work here don't have that ability. They have to be on site during their breaks, and their breaks are 15 minutes, 30 minutes for a lunch, and then 15 minutes break after that, spread out. So I guess that was taken away from me because others felt or could feel like it wasn't fair. And I do understand that. I do completely understand that. But that's not what I was promised during my interview. So that was really my first frustration, because I worked Monday to Friday and I'm 15 minutes out of Fredericton. So if I need to go to the bank, that means I'm driving at least 15 minutes into Fredericton, and I'm driving 15 minutes back. Well, there's the 30 minutes right there. So basically, I couldn't go to the bank. I'd have to go to the bank on the weekends. Well, hey, guess what? My bank's not open on the weekends. So I'm SOL. How am I ever supposed to go to the bank? So that's what was my biggest frustration. Because sometimes you just need to go to the bank. Sometimes you just need to go to Service New Brunswick or whatever to get your license or to switch something over. Like, you need that time, and I didn't have that time. And I could have asked, hey, can I have just an hour ago? And they probably would have said yes. But it's the fact that I don't have the freedom to do that whenever I want. I have to almost schedule that. That's a bit frustrating. And it's because it was promised to me. I was told that I was going to have that time, and then it was taken away from me a month after I started. So that was my first frustration. Pretty minuscule, actually. I didn't really get too bothered about it after a couple of weeks, to be honest. But it was still a frustration. I'm talking about it. Other than the random drama that I already discussed, and then the lunch, the other biggest frustration for me was we had another employee who joined the company, and the room that I worked in was kind of a shared room. So it was my kind of office or space was on one half, and then the other half was like kind of like a media room or a conference room. So we had a TV set up. We had like a kind of like a boardroom table, a small one, where we could join on calls and stuff. Because of COVID, a lot of people were meeting virtually. So the other half of the room was kind of that. If we needed to film anything, that would happen in that space. If I needed to take product photography, it would happen in that space. But I had the other half. We expanded as a company, and there was sections built on the warehouse, in the showroom, and then there was another little small like office addition that was kind of constructed with the intentions of housing 3 people. And one person was moved to that section with the understanding that there would be more people joining that section, and we could house up to 3 people, like I said. In my room, there was room for me, and that was kind of it, because I was on one section. I had like a shelf behind me, and my desk was kind of long, so like there couldn't be anyone to my right. And then there was the TV, the camera, and then the boardroom. Like, there wasn't really enough room for someone else. But we had someone else join the company who was doing a lot of Google ads and ad management. Like, I wasn't really involved in that specific stuff, because honestly I just didn't have time, to be completely upfront with you. So they were doing that. They were doing all the Google ads and stuff. And so marketing related, so technically I guess we probably should have shared a room, but I didn't communicate with this person. Like, I didn't have any day-to-day involvement with them. They could have worked from home, and I would have communicated with them the same amount as they were right in front of me. So they were put in my room, in front of my desk, in a space where there really wasn't that much room at all. And for a while, they were actually sitting at the conference room table. So when an interview happened or a conference call happened, or I needed to film something, hey, sorry, you got to leave. And that happened for 2.5 months, I guess. And that was the last 2.5 months that I was there. And I brought this frustration to my manager, to my boss, explained it a week and a half or 2 weeks into it. But like, listen, this isn't working. There's other reasons too, which I won't mention, but I guess I can mention. Constantly on the phone talking, and just like, if you're there to work, and if you're there to talk on the phone to your family, that's awesome, but go outside. Like, I'm trying to do work, so just let me do my work. Don't distract me, basically. And the frustration part was that there was another office or working space that could house an additional 2 people, and it wasn't being used. And then they're squishing this person in my room because I thought that it was that we should have been together, but we never communicated. There was no reason for us to be in the same room, really. I talked to her once about work in 2.5 months. So logistically, it didn't make sense. And having this person constantly on the phone was really a huge distracting factor for me trying to get my work done. Because I'm the type of person who just likes, I see a project in front of me, I put some music on, I put my head down, and I work. And I don't stop until it's done, until it's almost done. And I'm, 4 hours will go by, and I'll be like, holy crap! I thought I'd been working on this for an hour. It's been 4 hours, and I got a bunch of done. But man, I really had my head down. Like, that's the kind of worker that I am. I don't like to sit still and do nothing. That drives me nuts. Give me something to work on. Let me go at it, and I'll get it done. That's kind of who I am when it comes to working. And I couldn't do that because it was just like constant in and out of the office, and then on the phone and off the phone and on the phone, and then playing music out loud and then singing to it. Just like, oh my God, like, I just want to work. Like, I just want to work. Like, is that a ridiculous thing to say or to request? Like, I just want to do my work and not be distracted. And I couldn't. So that was a frustrating point. But everything that I've said so far, very minuscule, kind of in the grand scheme of things. So I've explained my position, I explained what I did, and I was underpaid. So this is a small company, they're just trying to grow, and in my industry, in graphic design, marketing and stuff, I'm not going to tell you how much I made, but I'll tell you that I should have been probably paid at least 10 grand more per year than what I was making. So I had a conversation with my boss and manager, I guess technically you could say. And I basically told them that. And I said, I'm not asking for an extra 10 grand, but I do want to know, like, what's your plans for me in a year, 3 years, 5 years? Like, where do you see me in the company? Where do you see me in the business? What role do you see me in? What kind of potential salary could I be making in a year or 3 years or 5 years? And obviously those are very hard questions to answer as a small business owner. You can't really answer them, but you could kind of give a little bit of an idea. But during that meeting, I was told if there are any raises, they would happen in January, and they wouldn't be very big. They wouldn't be very significant, which was a really frustrating thing to hear because the industry that the company is in has done very well during COVID, extremely well. Business has probably increased by like 800% or something ridiculous like that, like no exaggeration. So when I see the numbers come in and I know how much the company's making, and at the same time I understand that you have to invest in product and building up stock and expanding, and that all that stuff is important. But when I know that all that stuff is happening and I've done a lot of hard work during COVID and the company's done very well, to then be told, if there's going to be raises, there's not going to be that much. Knowing that, and also knowing that I'm underpaid in my position, was kind of the final straw for me. I was like, man, this is tough because I really like the people that I work with, other than like the random drama, like the actual individual people. 90% of them I really, really like. I love my boss, who's the owner of the company, like tremendous person, like unbelievable human being, one of the best human beings I've ever met in my life. His wife also worked for the company, tremendous person. Like, I really, really miss those people. But as a business, or as an employee of the business, my time was done basically at that point. And I started looking elsewhere for work because I if no one else is going to bet on you, that's fine, but you bet on yourself. So I wanted to bet on myself. I know that I was being underpaid. I know that I was doing more than, like, I was doing videography, some photography, graphic design mostly, but then a bunch of other. So I was wearing like multiple hats. Like, even if I was just doing graphic design, ignore all the other stuff I was doing, just graphic design, I would have been being paid 10 grand less than industry standard, basically. If I start to add all those other things, that 10 grand goes up. So not only was I being underpaid 10 grand by graphic design standards, but all the other standards as well. We're probably talking like 15 grand at least. So I needed to bet on myself. I know what my abilities are. I know what I'm good at, but I know what I'm not good at either. But I know that I'm worth more than what I was being paid for. So I started to look elsewhere for work, and I found an opportunity. I submitted an application. I had a really positive interview. It went very well. I got along great with the team that interviewed me, and I was offered the position, which it was a significant raise, which is nice. And I'm not actually doing any design work. Like, I am not working as a graphic designer in my new role, which is odd, very strange. You know, I've been working as a graphic designer for the past 11 years of my life, basically, and done videography for multiple companies and photography for multiple companies and freelance as well. And to not be doing any photography, any videography, any graphic design, but still be involved in marketing, like I'm working as a marketing coordinator. Very strange, very strange, but being paid more, way more than what I was making, with full benefits and 3 weeks vacation and the ability to work from home full time for the rest of my life, and 3 weeks a year sick leave or sick days or whatever. I haven't taken 3 weeks in the last decade of sick time, let alone the past year. So to hear that, it's like, what? My own phone, my own cell phone, a bunch of other perks, like seriously, full benefits, full pension. And it's for the government. So if you're an American watching, I know that working for the government's like not that big of a deal, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. But in Canada, working for the government is like, dang, good job. So it's taken me a long time to work up to be able to work for the government. But I did find a position that's related to my field, related to my industry, marketing. I'm not going to tell you what section of the government. It really doesn't matter. But it is a very cool experience. And I like the team that I'm with so far. I think I'm still learning so much. I've only been at the position of literally a week. But I'm learning so much, and it's going to be a challenge, and that's what I'm excited for, because while I'm not doing any graphic design and stuff, like, I'm very right and left brained. I'm extremely creative. I like creating things from scratch. I like doing the thumbnails for the channel and the video stuff, like all this creativity stuff. Like, that's that one side of the brain. But on the other side of the brain, I'm an extremely organized person. I love lists and schedules and everything that comes in an order. I appreciate timelines. Like, if I tell you I'm gonna meet you at a certain time, I'm gonna meet you at that time. And if I tell you that you need to be here for that time, I would really appreciate it if you were here at that specific time. Don't show up an hour late, please. Don't be here an hour early, please. I really appreciate order and lists and just everything that's to do with organization. And that's really what this new role is about. I'm a coordinator, so I'm kind of being tasked with keeping my team in order. So if a graphic designer is working on a couple of projects, it's up to me to reach out to that designer and be like, yo, how's it going? Do you need any help? Do you need do you need me to tell so-and-so to wait that you're not going to be done when you said you're going to be done? Or, basically just kind of keeping everyone on track and everyone kind of on the right path and keeping the team kind of going and keeping the machine working. So a lot of meetings, a lot of learning so far, but it's been a ton of fun, and I think it's a position that is going to be a lot of potential long term for growth, for advancement, and to do some cool things like around the province of New Brunswick. So I'm really looking forward to it, and it's been fun so far. It's been a little stressful because I don't know anything in this industry really, and I'm having to learn so much, not just about the industry and product, but just about the little processes and stuff with the team. So it's been difficult, but really exciting at the same time. So that is kind of my update. I lost my job. What am I going to do now? Well, I found another job. So I will be doing this job from home, a little bit in the office here and there, but primarily from home. And obviously I'm still going to do this YouTube on the side. That's not going to change. In fact, I'll have more opportunities to do more videos now because working from home, and I actually get an hour's lunch break. If I'm not going to eat for that hour, if I'm only going to eat for 15, 20 minutes, I can do that and have 40 minutes to do whatever I want. So I can film a video in 40 minutes. I'm on my break. I'm going to film a video. So that means more videos. So that's awesome. It's really good news for the channel. And it's good news for me financially. It's good news for my mental health. Probably is the biggest thing. Not being involved in drama and all that stuff. And I guess that was another part that I forgot to mention. In my position, I had I had the ability to work from home. Like 95% of what I did could have been done from home, but there was a lot of resistance to allow me to work from home. And that basically told me that, hey, we don't trust you actually, and we don't want you working from home, and we want you here so we can monitor what you can do, or so we can basically, I was being quantified by my presence and not necessarily my work. That's kind of how I felt a little bit, not 100%, but maybe like 60%. That's kind of how I felt. So that was another frustration point. So apologies for not saying that before, but I should reiterate, it's very important to me that although it is great for my mental health that I'm onto something new and something with a lot less drama and headaches and frustrations, that I'm really going to miss the people that I worked with. And that's tough, because though I wouldn't even consider some of them coworkers. Like, they're beyond that, like actual genuine friends. So it's going to be sucky. It's going to be sucky not seeing those people every single day, and having conversations about movies and music and whatever. And so that is the frustrating part. So I'm going to miss that. But for me personally, professionally, all aspects, it was the right move for me. So yeah, that kind of sums it up. I'm sure I forgot some stuff, but that's kind of my little bit of a life update. I appreciate you watching. If for whatever reason this is the first video on this channel that you're seeing, I would love it if you could hit the subscribe button. If you can't tell, I'm a hockey fan. Got some Pittsburgh Penguins on. I got some jerseys in the background, some hockey merch and the shelves behind me. Talking hockey basically on a regular basis. So would love to have you on board here. I appreciate your, this video is over 20 minutes long, and if you're still here, thank you. I like genuine person to person. Thank you for being here. Thank you for taking an interest in my life. I really appreciate you. I hope your life is going well. I don't know you, or I don't know most of you, but I hope your life is going well. If you want to leave me a life update, like I said, I don't know you, but if you want to give me a life update and tell me what you're up to. Are you in school? What are you taking in school? Do you work? What's your job? Let me know. And if you're in a similar position where you're working a job and you feel very frustrated and you feel maybe underappreciated, or you're underappreciated and you feel your mental health is being affected and you want to get away and you know that you're worth more, bet on yourself. Don't wait for anyone else to bet on you. Bet on yourself. Go out there and look for a better position, look for a better job, try and become better professionally, I guess, and advance your career. So it's the only advice I could give you is bet on yourself. Thanks guys for watching. I appreciate it. Hope you're having a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. Adios.